What's up, everybody? It's your boy Carcino here, and this is the most important video I've made. And I'm gonna tell you why. I was watching some of my old videos, like my Undisputed, and Chris Bouchard. Now, Chris Bouchard is smart. He just says some things. Sometimes he gets caught in the moment, and he says some of the dumbest things in the world. Now, this is like right after Golden State won the title, after he was convinced Cleveland was going to win it and all of this stuff. Now, Golden State wins the title. Then he starts comparing Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and already calling them a Hall of Fame backcourt. I disagree with that. So he's already comparing them to Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas of the Bad Boy Pistons. Also felt they were better than Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars of the Detroit Pistons. The last Hall of Fame backcourt in the NBA in like 50, 60 years. There hasn't been another backcourt in the NBA that's Hall of Fame in the NBA since, you're talking 50 years. Then this led to the comparison of the 96 Bulls. Then this leads to the comparison. They had the audacity to say the Golden State Warriors would destroy the Bad Boy Pistons. And I've had enough. I've had enough. It's done. I can't let this disrespect go on any longer. Now, I have no problem with the Golden State Warriors team. And with Kevin Durant, they still would get blown out by like 20 points playing the Bad Boy Pistons. Now, you want to make the comparison of point guard, Isaiah Thomas versus Steph Curry. First off, as great as Steph handles is, they were nothing like Isaiah Thomas. Two, Isaiah would clamp down defensively on Steph Curry like you've never seen before. They would get the ball out of his hands quickly. Now, his ability to shoot the three, he would have to prove it, because they have been so busy physically imposing will on him, always being in his face. The pick and roll would have been met with harsh picks by some of the bigger guys on the team. Joe Dumars, Klay Thompson. Joe Dumars had one of the prettiest rainbow shots in basketball. Very underrated defender. Took away things that you wanted to do. Klay and Joe play similar. Klay was a more streakier shooter and more of a straight arm shot than Joe Dumars. Joe Dumars is a scorer of all facets of the game. Defensively, he knows how to drive you into areas where he can get help on the defensive end of the basketball. And he's faced some of the strongest players in the league. The man has never gotten a technical foul, never used a profanity word on the court that I know of. And he held himself with so much dignity and class over his years playing in the NBA that they named the award after him based on his merit, called the Joe Dumars Award. And those are for the players that shows exemplary class on the court. He got an award named after him. Now, moving right along, Joe Dumars versus Klay Thompson as far as comparison, I think that's a no-brainer. Joey D, way better intangibles. If Klay don't have it going, sure he could just go to a defensive standpoint. But Joe Dumars, if he didn't have it going from the let's say from the 3, Joe's a threat from the 2. Joe's a threat passing. He's a very underrated passer. He knows how to pass the ball behind his back. He knows how to throw passes in all different facets, just like Isaiah Thomas. Both of them were great passing guards. He didn't have a killer crossover like Isaiah, but Joe could get there and finish at the rim better than Klay. Now, this is where the game will be won. Coaching. You're talking about Chuck Daly, the greatest coach in NBA history, versus Steve Kerr. Are you serious? It's not even comparable. It's like night and day. You're talking about a coach that had to really coach, and Chuck Daly. Did you see Chuck in there making substitutions in and out of games, bringing in players, running set plays? He knows what he wants to run on the court. He knows what the other team is running. He knows how to take people out of games. He knows how to isolate people. He knows film work. He knows everything. Chuck was hands-on with every single aspect of coaching, including the style. Now, you want to go into players. Iggy Dollar, the bench, and all of this. Okay, well, let's stick with the starters first. Kevin Durant versus Dennis Rodman? What do you think Dennis Rodman would do to Kevin Durant? Shut him down. Bill Laimbeer or Zaza? Do you even want to go? Do you want to continue with this? Do you want to continue with this? Kevin Durant would have been thrown out of the game by Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman would have had him so mentally out of his game, he'd have got thrown out. Draymond Green. Who would we put on Draymond? Rick Mahorn. Rick Mahorn versus Draymond? Ooh. Baby. Do you realize they've been so out of the game, just talking trash back and forth to each other. It wouldn't even matter. Then coming off the bench, we got Mark Aguirre. Come on, man. Is this even fair? Y'all got Livingston and Iguodala. We got Vinny the Microwave Johnson. Come in there and score a quick 15. So I guess you would compare him to Iggy. As great as Iggy is coming in the game and making key defensive plays, he's not the microwave. Vinny Johnson. Now, Wave's going to come in there and hit you with a quick 15. Quick. Instant offense. That's why he's called the microwave. You go take a bench, take a swig of water. Next thing you know, Wave got 15. It's just like that. How are y'all making this? Oh, my God. How are y'all making this a thing? I'm serious. Like, how is this even a main thing right now? Like, how did this even get brought to the table? Like, it's comparable. Let me tell you guys something about the NBA. Since 1980, or 79. Because even in 1980, when Magic Johnson was a rookie, that happened. So I think 79 was probably the last time it's happened. No team in the NBA has won an NBA championship, okay, that did not have a current or past MVP on their team, except for one team, the Detroit Pistons. It happened 3 times. The Bad Boy Pistons in 89, the Bad Boy Pistons in 1990, and in 2004. That team were the only team to not have a current or past MVP on their team since like 79. To show you how great they are as a unit. That's beating the system. There will never be another team like that. When you win, when they don't want you to win, they make rules to try to stop you. They isolate you and say, you're playing dirty. And everybody else is playing clean? Is that what you mean? The whole league is dirty. The Boston Celtics were the dirtiest, most physical team in basketball. Then they won championships. But it was okay because they were rugged white boys. All right, we get it. But then you get the Detroit Pistons. The Motor City. Nobody was looking for them. Television, radio, they wasn't caring about the Detroit Pistons. Marketing around the league globally, nobody was checking for them. You know who had their back? Detroit. They didn't care if you from Cincinnati or LA didn't care about the Detroit Pistons. They cared about the Detroit Pistons. We don't care about you being a Piston fan. We don't care you ain't a Piston fan. They ours. They belong to us. We know we got the best team. And we finna shut down the league. Put your best team on the court with us, and they're gonna get embarrassed. The NBA tried to erase the Detroit Pistons from history. Now they go back and honor them because now they realize how great they might have been. They're like, wow, this might just been the best team I've assembled. Like, how did this even happen? Do you think players go out and draft a Dennis Rodman? We have the best GM in the world. The Golden State Warriors are made off the foundation of what the Detroit Pistons were. If they're anything, they're closer to us than any other team in the league. Why? Because of defense. They take pride in defense and playing it as a team, as a single unit. Notice, the team that's playing defense is the team that's winning the championship. But yet, everybody want to shoot threes. Because they think, oh, that's how Golden State's winning. They're shooting all these threes. No. They're shooting the threes because they're good at it. It's open. They pass the ball. They share the ball. They're unselfish. They don't have ball stoppers. They've made Kevin Durant trust in moving the ball. Now, you look around and you say, well, can't compare eras. You're right. You can't compare the eras because it's a losing argument. But I just want you to be clear. I want to be clear and understand. Before you talk 96 Bulls, remember that team had 3 players from the Detroit Pistons era on there with John Spider Sally and all of them. You know how deep the Detroit Pistons were. They were the first deep team in NBA history. They were way deeper than the Chicago Bulls team. The Bulls is like 6 teams deep, 6 players deep that they really went to, 6 maybe 7. Like they were no threat at all. It's basically that starting 5, and there you have it. Even when they won the 3 championships, they were never as deep as the Detroit Pistons, who was 10, 11 deep. Just think about it. Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, Bill Laimbeer, James Buddha Edwards, Rick Mahorn, Mark Aguirre. I mean, this is just going through a few. Dennis Rodman, if I didn't name him already. Microwave Vinnie Johnson. You know, I mean, the list goes on and on. Spider Sally. Who are you going to get to contend with these guys, man? There was nothing you could do. The NBA would try to whistle certain players out the game, give them. It didn't matter. The game was over, period. There was nothing you're going to be able to do about it. They're the Pistons. You're not. That's how they played it to the chest. And I sit here and I honor him because I understand greatness. I recognize greatness. The Golden State Warriors, they're great. But put them up against the Detroit Pistons and they will lose by double digits every time. There's not one time they would ever not lose by at least 20. The game is psychological. The game is very physical. It's not fair. And you see things develop on the screen and you go from there. And that's basically all it is. So on that note, I'm out. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bad boys.